Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Car Talk with Caroline in collaboration with my good friends over at Hempful. Today I'm going to speak to you about values. Why are they so important? And why should we have 3 top values? Well, I'm going to give you 3 reasons right now why you should establish your values today. Number 1, your values and having values allows you to develop a strong sense of identity. It means you know what you are and you know what you're not. It's what you will stand for and what you'll not stand for. It gives you confidence and conviction, and it allows you to say no and it allows you to say yes. In fact, having values is a driver for having healthy boundaries. Reason number 2. Having values allows us to anticipate the behaviour of other people. If we know what our values are and we know what other people's values are, then we can anticipate if there's going to be some conflict. If there is conflict, then sometimes it can allow us to have a conversation that clears the air. If we don't know the source of the conflict, then we can begin with our values. We can say, here are my values that determine my opinion. What are your values and how do they determine your opinion? And what it can do is allow you to find common ground with people who you are in conflict with. Reason number 3. Having values and clarity on what your values are allows you to lead the kind of life that will fulfill you. What often happens is that a lot of people are not happy in their lives and they really don't know why. The first thing to do is look at your values. What are they? Identify them and look into whether or not you're living into them. Are you acting on them? A lot of the times when we feel intense emotions, they can be signposts to our values. For example, I am somebody who gets frustrated a lot at the world. And this is because I believe so much in justice. And justice is one of my top 3 values. Another one of my values is well-being. Well-being is so important to me both personally and professionally. As a therapist, well-being is paramount for my clients. But for me, it's also important because if I don't have well-being, then I can't function on a day-to-day basis. So well-being means I have to prioritize a lot of things like yoga, my nutrition, time I spend alone. The time I spend alone is primarily based on boundaries. But if I have values, then implementing boundaries is made a lot easier. So when you have values, making boundaries and keeping to them can be a lot easier and you feel a lot less guilt. And finally, my last value is freedom. Freedom to be who I am, freedom to say what I feel like is important, and freedom to choose what I feel is important to me in my life. So any decision I have to make has to be done with the value of freedom in mind. All these values are interlinked and they all blur, and it's important that I clarify my values and lean into them and live into them. So for you, if you want to clarify what your top 3 values are today, here are a few tips. Number 1, look at the people around you who you love dearly. What is it about them that you love? What are the values that they embody? Number 2, at the end of your life, how do you want to be remembered? This will allow us to establish the kind of person we want to be remembered as, and this allows us to identify some values. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you come away today with a lot more clarity on your values and you begin today start living into them.